and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's happening? We've been sitting here talking about dating news items.
Yes.
The show before the show should be a show.
I know. We should have been recording the whole time.
I guess
you shaved the mustache. I feel like...
Well, no, I just got annoyed at my DMs. Another day, another annoyed DM.
What? Oh, because
some
the
woman
mustache episode was last week.
Well, it was last... No. She literally... I shaved. Yeah. I went clean shaven.
I feel like you looked 10 years younger.
Well, thank you. This is what I need. And the pick-me-up I needed. Someone literally just messaged me, oh, the mustache is back. Everyone thinks I have a mustache, whether I shave it or not.
Really?
This because of the shadows and like... I don't connect the mustache to the beard.
Okay.
I'm in a mood. I'm sorry.
In a bad mood?
I'm just like in a mood, I guess. I don't know if it's bad.
In like a critical mood?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be fun.
I just, I don't know.
Are you in a ranty mood?
I'm in a ranty mood. And
okay.
Maybe those are the best episodes. Someone also DM me, my friends were raving about your special. So I think I'm the Jewish girl you're looking for. How about... I liked it too. Like, am I being, so my friends were raving about your special.
You are like with
I think I'm the Jewish girl in your dreams. No, the Jewish girl in my dreams has some compliments in her.
Jared,
I'm wrong.
Okay.
I'm wrong.
I have to say on this one, I think you're wrong because it reminds me of like when I've picked fights with Mike over things that he didn't say that I thought he should have said, even though he has no idea that I've wanted him to say them.
Yeah, but you're stuck with him. Like there's a whole law thing that has to happen for you to get away from him. I'm sitting here alone, thankfully, away from not Complimentville. And I can say, well, am I going to talk to do I want to walk through the doorway?
Right. We can't have it. We can't have the expectations be like blind raging praise or
that's
get
not
the fuck
even
out.
Listen. It's somewhere in the middle. It's a taste thing. It's like the dark chocolate we were talking about. Like I want dark chocolate, but I don't want 80% cacao.
Fair.
You know,
fair.
I want it to taste like chocolate.
All right. Why don't you let the audience and myself know what is the ideal DM? If you get a DM, like what will actually let you respond, not with a non-block?
I get embarrassed because I don't want this to sound like I'm writing the DM that I want someone to send to me.
Well, that's the whole point. No, because that's being honest. Like if I come out in an outfit, right, and this is what I'm the comparison to the fights I pick with Mike.
Right.
If I come out in an outfit, I have a specific thing in my mind that I want to be said when I come out in the outfit.
Right. And you would think at this point he would know.
Are you ready to go?
He gets to listen to this podcast and know the script.
Well, so does anyone who might DM you.
Well, no, but I don't want this to be, hey, doors open for fucking on my door. I feel a little dirty about that.
Okay.
But I will say, if you're going to approach a man, a person,
anyone,
hey, you look fun, you seem cute, would love to get a drink sometime.
Okay.
Come in, hat in hand. You knocked at their door.
I don't think this wasn't hat in hand. She was like,
my friends raved
about
it. Well, my dad always says it. I'm sensitive.
She didn't say we love the special. Would that have made you?
Yes.
That would have been more interested
Hey,
in
my
that.
friends raved about the special. I watched it last night. I loved it too. Or I laughed so much. Or let's even go smaller. It was fine. I would know.
Oh my God, you'd block.
I would have blocked right away.
It was fine.
Yeah, I'd be out. But I'm saying you obviously want to interact with me.
Right.
Like when I want to sell someone, I don't walk in and go, oh, you look fine.
Okay. Well, they're not trying to come off as like an eager fangirl.
There's an in-between. I don't know. I'm wrong. I'm okay being wrong. Mm-hmm. I know there's going to be some people in the YouTube comments, which we love. I got to say.
I heard that thing. I was like, that's someone who, is shooting their shot, seems very complimentary and into you. It wasn't the compliment that you wanted. It was you look nice, not you look unbelievable.
That right. You look nice.
Which I've gotten and I've worked on for many years.
Right. I'm showing you I'm not
saying, I watched your special last night after my married friends raved about it, and I think I'm the nice Jewish girl you've been looking for. Maybe we can take a break from the dating apps and meet for a drink.
Yeah, it is nice.
This isn't quite as enraging as...
You're right. What's wrong with me? I told you I'm in a mood. It's me. It's me.
Fair.
It's
Okay.
me. I take it back. YouTube commenters, delete
here's the thing.
what you just wrote about how horrific I am. I love the YouTube commenters, and let me just say,
They're great. Great
I'm getting more and
conversation
more
on there.
into it. It's a good conversation going
Maybe
on
I
there.
should get in there and
I
start
think I'm
commenting
in
too.
there.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
liking
I
shit.
see you in there.
Yeah.
I'm more of a lurker than an active commenter, but maybe I should get in there.
I'm fucking, Edgar Allan Poe. I'm writing shit.
We got to 10,000 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, you're gonna
You
see.
did it. You did it. I think we're at 10.3 now.
Yeah, people really, when they saw we were at the finish line, they just Philly shoved us over the goal line. Yeah,
They're demanding now that we pay up.
I know. Well, here we go. I think the way we have to do it. So the game was, if we got to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, we would do a tour of my apartment.
Yes.
Room Raider. No. What was it? The style being.
Candace, what'd you say it was? It was a Blair Witch Project.
A combo.
I would like a scene from the Blair Witch Project where I'm crying in the corner, but we did say Room Raiders.
Room Raiders.
Room Raiders
meets the Blair Witch.
No,
Project.
what's the other MTV show where they go to the cribs?
It was a Cribs
meets
episode.
Cribs. Yes.
So I think it should be Blair Witch, Cribs, Room Raiders, where it's a combination of all three. So you guys just show up. You go, are you home? And then you come in and you get, because I don't want
you
to
want to be surprised.
I mean, it is funny to think that if I cleaned it, you'd be like, you cleaned it? Like you wouldn't even know.
Right.
But it's, I think sneaking up on me.
Okay. We'll have to discuss this then privately about when you might be home. Your schedule's a little erratic.
We're stuck in the,
and you said that you don't
scenes.
spend any time at home.
I do try to leave the apartment. I don't know.
We'll have to come in the middle of the night. Hopefully there's not a woman there.
I can promise you there won't be.
The FBI.
There'll be. Get out! No, they'll show up in the middle of the night. I'm just like there with like.
You're right in the fridge.
I'm like over a bag of like delivery like a raccoon.
Guys, okay, I'm excited.
You guys open the door. I just turn. I go. That's me hissing like a raccoon.
He's actually a werewolf. We're going to find out.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll discuss separately. I do think surprising you, if we can logistically figure it out,
it's a better option. I'm always in the neighborhood. So if you're like, bye, I'll be like, yeah, I'll walk home.
Okay. So we'll raid your room and then maybe we'll all get a drink.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, this will be the You Up Company holiday party.
Yes.
And then we'll celebrate how horrific my living circumstances. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a bad mood. I'm
Why are you in a bad mood?
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm just like removing myself from. I have no energy to like meet anybody at this point. I was there in December. I don't know.
Where
I just like
in December?
I was thinking of like how I'm saying like this mindset of like I don't want to go on a date, but I'm like I'm not even like thinking of date. Like I'm just like I don't want to meet anyone new.
Okay.
But I do have this dream. I'm like coming to terms. I'm a lazy dater. I'm definitely a lazy dater.
I feel like you go on a lot of dates for a lazy dater.
I don't think that. I think what makes a lazy dater is like my chase. Like I'm not gonna run to go see if the person waiting at the stoplight is the woman of my dreams.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
You're not gonna not do like a show to see someone,
right?
Which is really like
I'm in the
more
receiving
realistic
end of
version
dating,
of that.
Right? Yeah. Like I'm not gonna like change my life or like go out of my way. And I kind of
have you ever done that?
No, and I keep saying I should. Like I've made efforts. Not to say that like anyone that I've like dated was like easy. That's not my point. Mm-hmm. It's just like it came easier to me. It was never like this like climbing Mount Woman. You know, like, which I'm not sure if
You've never really chased anyone.
I really haven't. And that's not like me saying, I know that can come off. I hope that doesn't come off in the way of like, who would I ever chase? No, it's like, I think that's a confidence thing. I think there's like a type of guy, like, okay, this brings us into the news segment that we're like kind of late on.
Right.
We talked about, you were on the J Train podcast. Yes. You were an amazing co-host.
You
and
we
Sammy.
had a great time.
So much fun. Show. Go check out the J Train podcast. It's different than this, right?
Yeah.
We talk, we're giving advice. It's really more just like a hang.
It's not just dating, it's other stuff.
It's this. It's us at the beginning of the show. But one of the segments that I've been doing, we taped 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
I think it was like 9 days ago, no?
9 days? Okay, so two-ish weeks ago.
2 weeks. Let's call it 2 weeks, yeah.
I have this segment called TikToks that make me feel. And I just like they'll come across my screen and I'll see it and I'll go, that's something I was like, this made me go, what? You know what I mean? And I'm looking to discuss it with friends. So you guys came on and 9 days ago, now these people have trended. They were at like 20,000 followers when I was like first watching them. I don't want to be the guy that's like, I found the band first, but I'm just saying like Pookie and...
You found the Instagram couple first. I think you can have that one.
I'll take it.
Go for it.
Jet and
This isn't exactly the Beatles.
Right. What if they become the Beatles of TikTok? Campbell, what's her name? Campbell Puckett and Jet are a couple on TikTok. But it's Campbell's TikTok that popped off because the thing I saw, and we ended up talking about the purses.
Yes.
So the thing I saw was like that she went to Paris and her very kind of southern, I would call him like...
Let me look at the video right now just to get a sense.
Saturday night, going to Hal's, our favorite steakhouse on the planet. And I gotta say, Pookie looks absolutely fire tonight. Babe, I am just seeing your outfit for the first time. What are you wearing?
She's never expecting anything from him. She's always surprised. And like, I would be too. I'd be like, enough.
I mean, whatever they've got going on here, this video has 260,000 likes.
I mean, people are obsessed with them. And
Is it kind of like a hate watch though?
I think it started as that a little bit because the first video that I saw was her getting this purse and people being like, wow, nice to be rich. It was like a purse that you can't get. We talked about it on J Train.
Right.
Like it's like what?
Like an Hermes.
Something you had to like make an appointment in
Birkin?
Paris. It was Hermes.
Okay.
You could. Sammy on J Train podcast was talking about like you can't get these appointments.
Sammy's in like the handbag game. That's not really my like thing.
Right. That's what this discussion became on J Train.
Right.
But then I'm watching this couple get bigger and bigger, and it's on the subject of like, so when they met, I kind of like looked into them. He like went up to her in a bar, was like, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen."
Of course.
Like, but everything about them lives in a romanticized, which is why they're getting cheered on like crazy. Like they are beloved.
They'll be divorced in 3 years.
That's not an opinion TikTok would approve of.
I mean, really?
Right. They are beloved. And to me, if you watch them,
this is not real.
it's not a realistic version of a relationship.
Right.
I mean, her ring is bigger than the screen. Like, he is a genius by every account. He's like top of his class. Someone went and found his resume.
What does he do?
He's got to be in finance of some sort or, private equity.
Here's the
I
thing.
mean,
I don't, and I said this on J Train. Why? I don't understand why he'd agree to be in these videos if he's like a really important person.
well, that's what makes this. I mean, I think TikTok is a very female space. To me, and this
I feel
kind
like there's a lot of male creators on there, though. Too.
I guess maybe the videos that are coming up on my silo, but I'm saying, like when we see like people talking shit about people they've dated, those erupt, and you don't see a lot of men doing this. Like to me, this is a very idealized version of like how a man should act in the world of social media. That he has no account; it's her account. He comes on, he goes,
her how beautiful she is.
He goes, "You look fire tonight." That's become his catchphrase. You look fire tonight, Pookie. She has a nickname that's like kind of embarrassing, but he gave it to her, so it's with love. Okay. Money doesn't seem to exist. His resume is like, you can't, and their story is a My Story wet dream on a wedding website.
Right.
So you kind of go, and again, right now, like what ends up happening, and the same thing happens with like me going, I can't believe Jay Shetty is as big as he is. Like the same thing. You and I, saying this is not real, they'll be divorced in 3 years. We're the trolls. We're under the bridge.
I'm not commenting it on their post.
No,
I hope they don't hear me say that.
We're doing it on a podcast, a very big one.
Are they listening? I don't know.
If they listen, I don't look at him and go, "Oh, that's one of my friends." That's how we would act. I don't, and that's not one of my married friends.
Well,
that's
because
that's not Jorge.
Because,
for everyone that's Jorge, Angel Jorge, I wouldn't look at Jorge, and I wouldn't if Jorge put up a video of him and his wife going, "You look fire tonight."
I feel like we would be sending that around the office, like making fun of him. No offense.
Absolutely.
Yes, Sean. Sean is filling in for Jorge, who got into a rock climbing accident.
Did he really? Is he okay?
He's fine. You can hear
he twisted his little ankle.
Oh my God! Look, we even made fun of him when he's injured.
If he was in the Pookie videos, that would be going around.
Like,
right?
It would be a mix. Half the office would be, Jorge is so sweet, because he is sweet.
That's the
And
moral high
then the
ground.
rest of us would put him back in his place, which is, dude.
Right. There'd
What
be
are
a
you doing?
separate
Get a
group.
grip.
There'd be a separate group chat.
Also, I don't appreciate it, because now, what do I have to do this for my partner? Like,
Right.
Bro.
Well, that's
Help me
the
out
thing.
here.
He's fucking over every one of his friends.
He is basically the equivalent of like a woman, like a Instagram thought type person with like a boyfriend, let's say, right? And then you as a woman are looking at that like, he's not expecting me to wear that, right? Or to look like that,
well,
right?
even to go away from thought, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Then there's another version of like the woman who does it all. Baby in hand, doing her job with her left hand, amazing dressed, perfect makeup, and you go.
That's true. The mom who does it all.
Right, the mom, right, and you go. Well, that ain't, what about me in fucking sweats?
Yeah,
And it's
sweatpants,
like,
right.
But here's the thing: the male. This is where I get into like the no man can come out and look at Jet and say anything wrong with him, because and then there's also these men who are now joining the
I think there's
wave.
something wrong with him. He married this woman. I mean,
well,
I don't know. Is this an unpopular opinion? He married this extremely materialistic woman who just goes around like showing in like kind of a gross, tacky way all of his money off on Instagram. To me, that's what's wrong with Jet. That's his taste.
right.
I don't know, is this like an unpopular opinion?
That we want to go viral. Put that on. I don't. I'm with you. I'm more towards your side. I don't see this and go like it. She doesn't ring money grubber.
I mean,
But
all
to
she
me,
does
but
is
I-
show off the purses and the nice shit that she has.
Well, they do a thing. They do this thing that annoys me.
Do you think she'd be with Jet if he were a waiter?
I don't think so. I
Well,
don't believe
I
so.
mean-
Well, they do this thing where they go eat at Waffle House and they go eat at Chick-fil-A.
As
and
like a joke?
It's not even like it's them kind of
To be
like
ironic?
right? Well, that's the thing. They're so not ironic. They're so sweet and honest about the lovey-dovey shit that I think people buy the Chick-fil-A. Whenever I see them at Chick-fil-A, or they call it Waffer. What do they call it? They have like a nickname for it. I've watched every video. I'm part of the problem, but Waffo. He's like, we're here at Waffo, and you're like, they don't. There's no eye roll at Waffo. That's like just part of our life. It's like this, like it is kind
That's
of
like
this,
their attempt at relatability.
Yeah, it's a conservative wet dream of a certain kind because politically speaking, there's this like we don't talk about money and religion and politics, and we love our Waffle House. You know, it's like a little bit of that where it's like, what are you attacking? Like, what are we attacking? We're attacking this couple that loves each other, but it's like if you look beneath the blanket, you go. Wait, what is being celebrated here? I guess that this guy has no opinion other than she's beautiful and wonderful and the best thing that's ever happened.
What's so great about her? She knows how to purchase an expensive handbag with someone else's money. Is that the talent that everyone's very impressed by?
I think he's become the star of this. Like, I don't think she's kind of background music at this point to me.
You think he's the guy? He's the person.
Well, he's the interesting part because it's a man that like kind of lives in this like romanticized, Cinderella version. Candace, people are looking for their Jet, and I guess that's the unreasonable part.
Of course
to
they
us.
are. They're looking for someone to pay for shit and tell you look beautiful.
Right? What else is there?
Well, what else about Jet is like? Are people looking for? Is he funny? Is he like?
He has not made one joke yet. I'm yet to laugh. I've laughed at him.
That's like a prop.
Right? Well, to me, we hear in this podcast, and we live in this like dating reality that gets murky and kind of gross, and like and also like fun and has funny stories. We have a segment, awkward sex, like awkward interactions. Dating is awkward. Dating is messy. Maybe you have a friend where someone comes up to them in a bar, and I was thinking of Jet with this idea of like, would I ever walk up to a woman in a bar? You're the most beautiful woman I ever did see, and then I
mean, that's not your personality.
It's not, but like. I think that's why Jet becomes aspirational to both sexes.
Okay.
I think again, I've taken a turn
because you're like he
did it.
He had the confidence to do it.
The confidence, I want that, and I think a lot of men.
But that's exactly it. It feels like a possession. Like she is buying possessions, but she is his possession, and he's admiring his own possession. I want that. I'm going to go not like, you're extremely beautiful. I like beautiful things. I'll be with you. You can buy more beautiful things.
Jordana, I don't know if I've seen this opinion out there. A lot of times I'm impressed by you.
It's so obvious.
I know. The opinion that you see, like the Think PC people, the people that sit in front of the camera,
right.
There's like Think PC TikTok where like
people
the person
reacting to
the person in their sweats who looks like they smell like their house is like telling you how it is and giving you a thought, a whole dissertation. There has been more like this is the man you should see. This is giving them praise, and I think I'm reminded of why you started a multi-million-dollar company.
'Cause I'm a
every
fucking
day.
hater.
Right? Total bitch. No, you bring up fair points that will not be regarded as fair in my belief.
All right, well, we'll see.
See.
We'll see what the audience thinks.
I like that, but I appreciate a discussion. Like, I think they're being discussed in. Again, as a guy, I look at him and I go, like, the dream of having a boyfriend with no social media is a meme that's been done.
Sure, yeah.
He's the boyfriend. He's the living proof of the boyfriend with no social media that only tells you how great you look on social media.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not real. There's no way that's real. That's no way when, like, the
Not to
TikTok
me.
is off that is what's happening.
I want a TikTok of Jet's friends.
Yes, I want
wanna see what they're
screenshots
like.
of the group chat of Jet's friends.
Right.
He might not have.
That would get them all. They'd all lose their jobs.
He might not have any friends.
That's
I feel
fair,
like this
too.
is the kind of guy who would be like, if he had good friends, they would have called him out on this.
Well,
already.
he'd think twice.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like, and again, I bring it back to Jorge because Jorge is our shining
resident
angel.
nice person.
Well, I don't, our resident good guy. But I look at his story, and his story is a 1% story to me. Meeting the woman on the date, going to China or going to Asia and having this very different thing. But I think Jorge also lives in reality.
Right.
I think his story is unreal to me, but I do, again, the Jet thing is like another level of like, I do envy the idea of like, I see it, I want it.
Right.
But again,
as Ariana Grande says.
Right. That's
I like it. I bought it.
Right. Well, I was listening to an interview with Larry David, another, Larry David, who's more realistic than him.
Yes.
Like that's his whole thing.
Who's more of a hater. Yeah.
Biggest hater. I'm listening to it on the way here. He was on Bill Simmons' podcast, and he says his advice, he's always asked young writers ask him for advice.
Okay.
And his one advice is stay single.
Interesting.
Stay single. He goes, you don't have to make
It's a great podcast for you to listen to as you try to navigate dating.
Maybe that's what put me in this mood. Yeah. And you go, this is a guy.
Is he married?
He's divorced now, but he said when he was Seinfeld and coming up, he goes, he even says it. I'm repeating him.
Yeah.
He's like, and I agree with him.
Okay.
You can't make the compromises necessary.
Oh, I thought
it would be hard to make the compromises in your relationship that are necessary to do the things you need to do.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be because like happy people aren't funny.
Oh, no. Some people believe that. No. I mean, like his whole show.
Right.
It shows versions of him married with Cheryl,
right.
and then him
His
single,
divorce,
divorced.
No,
so it's but it was interesting. You see that, and he's like, it's a very like, I don't know if
But he got married. How old was he when he got married?
I think he already had a couple $100 million in the bank.
Okay.
And easier to go, you're my Pookie, when you can give a ring the size of this fucking table.
And that's all that matters, right?
I don't know what matters. I don't know anymore. Why do I even? What am I even talking about on this podcast? I don't know.
We're slowly losing our minds, guys. It's
I've
the
lost
last
my
day of
mind.
January. We're recording this. It's been 50 years.
The longest month in the history of fucking months.
It's almost over. It's about to be the worst month of the year. We have 2 birthdays. Candace's birthday is tomorrow. She's gonna be 30.
Happy birthday, Candace!
Welcome to your 30s.
What are you doing to celebrate your birthday?
It's awesome.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm just gonna play clips of you singing
Over and over again.
Happy birthday. Listen, people pay a lot for this on Cameo. Happy birthday.
I
Driver
have not
free.
figured it out, but first birthday in the big city or
Right.
whatever. So
Do you have like a group to get together? Is there any? You'll
I'm
Are you
figuring
not a big
something
birthday
out.
person? I'm sensing.
I am a big birthday person.
You're really holding it in well.
I know, but like I just don't know what to do. There's so much going on in this city, so we'll figure it out.
You got to do like brunch,
Brunch is fun.
Go on
nightclub, or
go on a
How do you-
tour through Plug City.
how do
Just
you-
like go through every recommendation you've ever done.
I got some recs.
How do you feel about turning 30? You seem like you're a little distressed about it.
I was excited, but people keep making jokes about how horrible it is that they're getting closer to 30, and I'm like, oh great.
Yeah, you're around other 29-year-olds.
Well, you started feeling weird about being 39, and that made me feel better.
Yeah. Just hang around me, kid.
She's like, it's not that bad.
Candace, you want to feel good about turning 30? Come tour my apartment. You do the video of my apartment at 39. You'll be like, wow.
That'll be your gift. Our gift to
Life
Candace.
could be.
I'm living the life over here. Okay.
Yeah, you're
And
doing well.
That's our gift to Candace and the rest of the audience.
That's
It's your
right.
apartment.
Whatever you do in your apartment, wherever your living circumstances, you're gonna look at my place and go, no, it's not so
I'm
bad.
sure it's lovely.
Great
and
neighborhood.
Here's the thing, West Village,
Yeah,
like
can't
that's
beat it.
would you rather live in a penthouse in Jersey City?
No.
Jen's- Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Candace. Sorry.
When the time you're 39, you'll get your West Village studio.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Okay.
You got the podcast is great. I listened to last week's episode.
Oversharing.
Oversharing was great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you. What about you? What tour
I'm
dates
on the
you got
road,
coming up?
okay? So this is very important to point out. I've just come back from Buffalo. I'm sure it was a wonderful time. I'm sure all of them were so nice and appropriate and not sensitive at all about their living situation. I'm sure the people of Buffalo were great.
You didn't get
Well, I've already left. I don't know what happened.
stoned with the snowballs.
I mean, it's about we're gonna find out because
Yeah.
ticket sales have been rough. So
you're getting yours. It all comes back.
right, it did come back.
Karmic Buffalo treat.
You know what's not rough? The ticket sales in New York City. So February 17th, I'm doing 2 shows. The first one sold out. The second one is selling out. So I want you guys to come, get the tickets, jaredfree.com, New York. Boston, the second show, there's like 10 seats left as of today. Toronto, second show, we're like halfway done with that second show. Chicago, there's literally like 10 seats left. Charleston, halfway done. Minneapolis, Royal Oak, Minneapolis is almost sold out too. Boise, Idaho, having some issues there. I don't think we got the Boise people listening to this show, but if they're out there, Olympia, Washington, which is south, I heard, of Seattle. So Seattle was great. I'd love for Olympia to be just as good. Vancouver, the Couve City. I had 2 sold out shows there last year that were wonderful. Get the tickets now. I'm getting asked for videos because they're like, maybe we're gonna have to like change the room. Denver, I think 3 out of 5 are sold out. San Francisco, Columbus, Ohio, I've added. Columbus. I like Columbus.
Yeah.
Big fan. I think it's the best city in Ohio. I might be doing Cincinnati, so I'm sorry. But Columbus.
One of the top 2 cities in Ohio.
Yeah, whatever other. Columbus is great. The Short North area, great. Love Columbus. New Orleans, Los Angeles, Dallas, Nashville. jaredfree.com, 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 jaredfree.com for tickets. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about like when it's inappropriate to still be on the apps when you're dating. And if you guys want to weigh in, you can go to Spotify and we're gonna have a poll. You can also weigh in when we will share the results if they're interesting.
Well, we're gonna share. Yeah, next episode we'll talk about the Spotify poll. We'll see if it's interesting, and maybe we'll keep doing it. Yeah. But I love this subject because it's so anti-Pookie.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it is the opposite
of you. You are the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
Come with me on the private jet. We're going to Paris. We're going to Paris.
That's exactly how the
and
Tinder
getting you
swindler
a Birkin.
started. I'm just saying.
That's what?
How the Tinder swindler started.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that if I'm not wishing this, I hope not. If Jet becomes like a murderer, that would be the most unbelievable documentary
That would be
of
amazing.
all time. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying
He should do it just for for that reason.
Well,
He kills her. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, even me thinking that shows how unrelatable he is to me.
Right. He's
Even when we be
unrelatable to me. Actually, I mean, I know like the Insta husband type.
Right, but there are nights where Mike is a Jet.
Sure.
But there's nights where he is not a jet, when he's eating Gushers and a Mountain Dew.
Right.
And you're
And
like,
he's like,
that is not.
I don't feel like getting you the water from downstairs.
Right.
You go get it. Right.
All right, let's read the email.
All right. Hey, J&J, writing to you during a moment of anxiety. I recently went on 2 dates with this guy from Bumble. In my opinion, the dates could not have gone any better. I've never felt so comfortable on a date and had so much fun. The last date we went out on was Tuesday night, and I knew that the guy was busy all weekend with local activities. It's now Saturday night, and I decided to check out his Bumble account to see if he updated it since our dates, and I see that he is on travel mode in a city that he didn't tell me he was visiting this weekend. Do we think he lied about his weekend plans? And if so, why? He was having a big party at his parents' house, so it seems like an elaborate lie for no reason. Also...
I guess where's his parents' house? I don't know.
Right.
Go on. I'm sorry.
His parents could be out of town.
Whatever.
Also, if a guy is engaging with his apps after a good date, does that mean he's no longer interested? Or could he just be using them out of habit? I need help to calm my anxiety down. Thanks, a spiraling sister.
I love this email because it's why this is a podcast and not a TikTok video.
Yeah.
Because when I hear this, I feel for her. I'm never going to tell her how to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her feelings are valid.
She likes this person.
She likes him. You go on 2 great dates. She says, in my opinion, these were the best dates I've had. You know,
Right.
like she says, in my opinion, they couldn't have gone any better.
Never felt so comfortable.
Love that for her. Okay. I would say that when she goes on the app to say, let's see what's going, and then sees he's at the bar that literally says singles night at the top, which is what every app is.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why there's a deflating moment.
Right.
And also to see he's traveling, changing a location.
He's changed the status, which means that he's not, it's not like, because you've said before, which I agree with, I think these are kind of impulse. A lot of people on the apps are just like impulsively opening it, like you would open Instagram and then you'd open the app and then you'd open something else, just sort of as a habit, muscle memory.
Toilet fodder.
But,
it is in the rotation of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, dating apps.
But he's on travel mode, right? Which is not I'm
not familiar.
Right? Is that what she?
I see that he's on travel mode. It's been a bit since I've been on Bumble specifically. I'm not on any apps now, but can we get a word on what travel mode is?
Travel mode is they'll be able to see you're not in your own city, but you can be away still talking to people in your city, but you can also talk to people that are in that
area. Is it something you have to manually change?
You do have to turn it on to travel mode, but I believe that it gives you a notification, like when it senses you're in a different location far from home.
Like,
it'll
hey,
ask
you can
you,
turn
hey, do
it
you
on.
want to be on travel mode? Same for you can turn Bumble on snooze mode, you know?
Can you turn travel mode if you don't travel at all? Because there's another option she hasn't really, I'm sorry to horrify her,
right?
But maybe he was traveling somewhere in a couple weeks and he decided that this shit.
That's even worse.
Today I'm going to take a dump in San Diego. You know,
that's
and then he turned it on.
Right, that's even
travel
worse.
mode automatically turns off within like a week, I believe. Right?
So it turns off when you go back to your original city.
It's an automatic, like if he was leaving in a few weeks, it's going to turn off in a week anyway. Like you'd have to go back in and turn it back on.
But
he's saying he could just be like,
he can't do it
perusing.
Like,
he can't set his location to San Diego while here in New York.
He can, and then usually people change their bios to "I'll be there these dates,"
right?
If they're trying to like set something up, but everybody will be able to see you're in travel mode and see those changes.
But travel mode, basically,
but you do have to
opt.
You have to turn it on or opt into it. Yeah.
Okay. But turning it on and then it turns off in a week, you can turn it back on right that minute, right?
Yeah.
So there is a chance that he's in her city, turning on travel mode to see what's going on in another city that he might be visiting later. I'm sorry to horrify her, but that is an option on the list of things that could be going on.
He's not so deeply in love that he has completely purged himself of the apps. It's basically the upsetting part.
I think this email is what got me kind of in this mindset with like the whole.
Why you're in a mood?
A little bit. Like I remember reading this and then thinking like I was like trying to think because again, our job, put ourselves in the position of the emailer or the person they're dealing with.
Sure.
So I'm sitting there going, and I'm trying to personalize this. And I think I was on the treadmill. What's up, ladies? And then I was thinking about this and I was like, you know, to me, she's overreacting.
Okay.
It sucks to see that, but your good experience on the dates It sucks to see that because everything sucks now. 2020, this is 2024.
Right.
You have to see, I get breaking news. East Turkestan is under attack. And I'm like, I didn't need that. I don't care about East Turkestan. I'm sorry, Turkestanis. Or whatever. Is that even a country? Did I name a country? I'm apologizing to nobody. But I'm saying, whatever country there's a thing, breaking news. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to know. I didn't need to know.
We have a lot of information.
We have a lot of information. And this is the same for dating.
Well, no, because this is a little different than dating because she went to abc.com,
right.
abcnews.com. Like, this is different because she was looking for the information. I think. But also, like, again, even the fact that you could get that information, perhaps
it's
too
tempting.
much.
It's
too much that you can even figure out.
Right.
But I think
you're right. You are right. She did go looking for something she didn't want to see.
Right. And I would say there's two things that could be true here. The date, one, she could be correct that this was an unbelievable date, and as a man, as a disgusting man, he could still be looking anyway just for fun.
Well, this is where I went to like personalize it. I'm like,
even though he had a wonderful time.
I've been on 2 great dates with 1 great woman. I've also been on the apps during weekend.
Right.
While I was in the bathroom peeing on the second date, I was on the dating app. Okay. Right. I am not, this is one of those scenarios where that's when I started to kind of spiral a little bit because I did kind of say to myself, well, maybe this is why I'm sitting here saying that single at 38, almost 39. So I'm like, what has this done to me? Like, I got a little bit
right.
down
Are you
the
always
road.
looking? Are you always continuously looking? You can't be like sticking with one person. Is that
right?
And I think that's a male thing.
Right. And I think that's something that she has to acknowledge, like, or doesn't have to, but I'm saying, like, this is the dirty alleyway of dating that we have to deal with that our parents never had to deal with.
But could you be on those apps still after those 2 dates, had a great time, had an amazing time, still looking to go out with that person and kind of look and just kind of think it's like meaningless?
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. That's the problem with that's the problem with dating podcasts.
Right.
Is like we're not going to give her an
doing
answer.
Anything wrong technically.
He's doing
thing.
nothing wrong. He also could like you and thought that those dates were great too. There is a dopamine rush to getting the match. And again, she has to take everything in at once. She has to take in the idea that, like, this kind of sucks. I went and looked for it. Also, remember, we get emails here all the time. Why do they match and talk to me and never make a plan? Right. Well, maybe they went on 2 great dates with someone and they're like really kind of looking forward to those. And this was just a gamified version of dating that they don't even think of as dating. Like,
right.
And I'm giving a lot of leeway, but you have to remember, like, these are human beings on the other end too.
Well, that's the other thing about going on 2 great dates is that 2 incredible dates to you could be, and I think that maybe this happens with you more than other people, is like, so I could see someone going on 2 dates with you and thinking they were incredible. I mean, we had I'm sorry, what was her name?
Nora.
We had Nora on the show, said you were a really good you're a good first date.
I
right?
can do a good first date.
Right. You're a very, very good first date. So I could see someone's going on 2 dates like that with you and saying, like, we had an incredible time.
Absolutely. And I could understand me saying the same thing. But also
not meaning the same thing to them as it means to you.
That's the problem with Jet. To bring it back to Pookie talk, Jet, she's sitting there. Like, I want to encourage her to keep being romantic, even though she saw something very not romantic.
Right.
Like, I could understand someone's annoyed with my positivity angle on this, but, like, her most depressed friend is going to give her the worst advice in the world. Her most depressed friend, her most angry at dating friend is going to want her to be just as angry as them and pull them down with them. And I'm here to tell her, you own your feelings and be aware that you might come down to earth and crash and burn.
Well, what should she say then? What should she do with this information? Nothing.
Nothing.
You can't
There's
do
nothing
anything.
to do.
Right. But I do think it's almost like, okay, you know the thing now, right? You had the 2 great dates. I think this is just a reminder that you've only been on 2 dates. You saw the thing, it hurt your feelings. You could say, I'm maybe over-invested in this. We went on. I think there's a little bit of like, okay, like
calm down.
Yeah. You had the 2 great dates. He didn't do anything horrible, but also just remember, because I think that a lot of women do this, myself included, is you take those 2 dates and you emotionally masturbate them into a relationship or something that's bigger than it currently is. And that's great in the like our story romanticism of it. Like sometimes that works. Sometimes you get lucky and that works out. Right? Like that emotional thing that takes you there. But most of the time you have like things go at a pace. And so when you get ahead of yourself, and it sounds like she's pretty anxious, and anxious people get ahead of themselves a little bit, I would just say, okay, you saw this thing, hurt your feelings a little bit. What am I going to do with this information? What am I going to do with this anxiety? I'm just going to take it, and it's going to be a reminder that we've only been on 2 dates. And like, I'm going to like go into the next date. Let's see how the next date goes. I'm going to think 1 step ahead. It doesn't mean just because he's on these apps that we can't go on a 3rd date. He doesn't owe me anything at this point. And I don't owe him anything at this point because we don't really know each other that well yet.
Here's the other thing. I agree with that. It keeps you real. This is a moment. This is a grounding moment.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Like,
well, this is why
be realistic.
There's 2 things. I don't want to keep going back to Jet.
Okay.
But I want to just acknowledge this is why Jet is dangerous.
Well, that's because he's like the exception.
Well, I'm saying like this is why when he gets glorified, and this is how every man should be. Well, it's not how they are. Sorry. Right. So
I don't think that's how he is either.
Well, I don't think so either. He doesn't even have his own account. But I would say like when she goes and sees her guys still on the app and Jet gifting a Birkin and going, "You look fire, Pookie."
Right. She's like, I need a guy like that.
Well, I guess my guy's the asshole. I guess I didn't find it yet, and I want to like make sure what you're saying is right. Because it's like, this is a grounding moment. This doesn't make him evil. This doesn't make him
bad even.
Bad. It doesn't make him the one. You know, it's neither here nor there. It's the fun of dating is not knowing sometimes.
Right.
So she's got to go on the next day. I think it's okay to then know that like, this is a conversation that you need to say about yourself. Maybe on one of the future dates, this is on the resume. And you say, hey, you might be making fun of this one day. You might be joking with it, and that's a very
dream.
The dream is that you're at your wedding going, and he put his location, and I thought he was somewhere when he was actually this, or he has some explanation that makes sense, or in the beginning, I didn't know you were all traveling, you're lying to me. Like you might joke about this one day, as much as no one would admit that. I would say to her, at some point, you have to say, what are your feelings on the dating apps? Because I'm off of them. Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't think 2 dates is the time.
No, not 2 dates, but like, hey, I've had a great time with you. 5 dates in, I've had a great time with you. I'm making a commitment to this. I just want to like concentrate on this. I'm deleting the apps. Like saying that. Like
you could say that. Not after 2 dates.
Not after 2 dates, but I'm like, I think saying that for yourself might get a conversation that you might not have seen coming or.
Yeah, it's a good pulse check.
It's a good pulse check. And it's a pulse that you know exists for him.
For sure.
Like, you know, the apps are a part of his life.
Right. But also, again,
in a way,
you could have gone on 2 really great dates, really liked someone, and still gone on a date with someone else in between your 2nd and 3rd date with that other person.
Let's do some awkward encounters. UUP@betches.com. Someone asked me what the email is the other day. I can't hold
tattooed on your forehead.
Right.
Yeah. You also, again, if you don't forgot the voicemail number, if you forgot the email, you can go to the u.up.podcast Instagram page, press the contact button. It'll give you all the information right there. If you can't remember it, you have the worst memory ever.
Trust.
Candace is like, I cannot answer one more DM asking for the email.
Somebody DM'd us the other day and asked, do we have an email for the show? Or do they just DM their questions?
Oh,
what am I doing here?
Guys, Candace.
Again, we're talking about
Candace's
one person.
Birth month. Would you give her a present and just figure this shit out for yourselves?
It's our birth month.
Sorry. And it's Jared's. I'm sorry. It's Jared's birth month, too.
Let's do an awkward encounter.
February
You ready?
Babies.
That's right.
All right.
J&J, thanks so much for the pod. I started listening in 2018 after ending a 10-year relationship. I'm now happily married, and this podcast is still my favorite. I want to share an awkward encounter that I won't call a date. In 2018, when I was single, I got on the apps with the intention of meeting people and having fun. I set up a date with one of my matches pretty quickly. A couple of days before our date, he asked me to send a photo that wasn't on my Tinder profile to make sure I wasn't catfishing him. What do you think of that?
Flag.
I'm out.
I'd be out. Yeah.
I will say this from the guy side of
That's
things.
not why he's doing that.
I don't know why he's doing it. I mean, there's a number of reasons. I would just be like,
No.
I wouldn't even answer. I would exit stage right. You're not dealing, unless you're just if you're like, I want to fuck.
Yeah. I mean, she says intention of meeting people and having fun. So maybe.
She goes, I sent a photo and he didn't respond.
Okay. Disrespectful.
That's as bad as my friends raved about the special.
The only thing worse could have been a dislike, but a dislike reaction, right?
Yeah, you're right. I sent him a picture. He didn't respond. The day of our date, I texted to make sure we were still on. Still no response. I would assume it's off the minute I didn't get a response to my picture.
Same.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't bother with the rigmarole of getting ready. And he texted me an hour after our theoretical date
Would have been. Yeah.
So basically, he texted an hour after what their date would have been. Whoo! Just woke up from a nap.
Oh my God. Go fuck yourself.
The balls. The balls to ask for another picture. Hey, I got 5, but
I
a
just
6
woke
might
up
put
from
me
a
over
nap.
the edge. Yeah.
Not even pretending like you're.
He texted the word woo.
I hate this. I hate this guy. This is like the worst. Actually, you know what's funny? Because you're like, I'm 10% away from everyone.
Right.
This is like the person at like the 95th percentile of like awful.
The anti-Jorge.
Yes. This is like a fucking asshole. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, that's a dick. I mean, woo!
Just send me a
Not
picture.
really.
No response. No. Oh my God.
And then
I hate this
to
person.
ghost the date, come back from the dead. Woo! Had to get some shut eye.
You know how little this person like gives a shit about anything.
I didn't respond and just went to bed. 2 days later, he texted me and asked if I wanted to hang out at his apartment complex pool. This guy is everything from a movie.
Yeah.
The pool, the woo. At this point, I was still dedicated to my mission of meeting people and having fun.
It's not him.
Well, what fun could he be at this point?
Right.
He only makes you feel bad. And mainly, it was hard to say no to pool time. The
That
pool,
I get. You know.
Yeah.
How hot was it?
Right. I had no idea it would be just him, I had no idea if it would just be him and I or if other people would be there. When I got there, he immediately exclaimed, "God damn, you're fucking gorgeous." You got to take a better picture.
I hate every part of this.
He's brutal, and his friends were indeed there. The guy quickly got hammered and spoke to me very little, despite me trying to initiate conversation. But his friends were really fun. About an hour into the gathering, another woman showed... I mean, we're getting a part of this story. How do you not look at the friends and go, what's the deal? Like,
I mean, she's probably like, I'm just going to like have a good time.
Right, maybe the friends of the guy.
Hot dog.
Right. About an hour into the gathering, another woman showed up. She was also friendly, making a point to talk to me. But as she was talking to me, I could see her staring at the guy while biting her lip. Ooh. It was not subtle at all. As the alcohol continued to flow, she and this guy were all over each other and recreated the famous dirty dancing lift in the pool.
Wow, you're on someone else's Our Story page.
Right. Maybe you're there for the friends, I guess.
Yeah.
Once the sun started to set, I mean, when do you leave? I announced my departure, and the guy begged me to stay. He texted me later that night asking to meet him and his friends out downtown, and I declined. He also texted a couple of days later asking me if I had plans. I never responded. My friends and I have a couple theories about this encounter that I'm curious to know your thoughts on. One, he's been catfished and wanted a low-stakes meeting so that if I was catfishing him, he wasn't stuck on a date with me. No, this is an over-talked about
you
dating.
listen to this show. You're married. How did you get married having this level of naivete?
I can't. This is an over-talked about dating thing. The catfish, the pictures. I gotta see 1,000 pictures before I can go out. It's like no. Everyone looks kind of sort of what they look like on the app.
What does he work for the government?
Right.
Go on the fucking date.
Yeah. This is. I just hate that. idea. Okay, 2. He and his dirty dancing partner wanted a threesome, but were too fucked up to remember that you both have to chat up your potential third. Thanks for all you do. Not a catfish, just a badge.
Both of those theories are not correct. This guy is just a complete fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
And he's just texting anyone that will. You think you're the only 2 girls that he texted to come to his pool party?
Didn't you see all the goodie bags?
He cast a very wide net. He saw
Yeah.
who would show up. And he's completely fucking around. He's not thinking about you. He's not thinking about this other girl. He's not thinking about anyone. He's just completely fucking around with no regard for anyone but himself.
Some men are more penis than brain.
That's
this guy's like 90-10. Yeah, this is a lot of penis on the brain.
It's socially unacceptable to act this way after college.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I
Even in college.
I don't know. This is just, here's the thing. This is the relatability part is that she's like, her and her friends got together, and the only thing they could think of is like the most extreme outcome. Oh, he needed all the pictures in the world, or he's looking to have a threesome with his. It's more, this guy likes vague options.
Right.
He likes women who respond. He will invite women who respond out on nights that are convenient for him. Mm-hmm. These scenarios, as much as it doesn't seem convenient for him, he found a way to like click in his brain that these are convenient.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's a little awkward with this other woman that's like kind of licking her lips at me. That prude over there won't come over, so I'll just do dirty dancing with the one that's like.
And then I'll text the other one after.
Right.
This guy is the worst. It makes me like annoyed that there's men out there like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me to talk about dating as a man in this, know, because like, again, I'm answering for him and probably locks.
It just shows so little respect for like anyone else.
Right. And also, again, to like the 2024 of it all is like the ease of interaction.
Right.
Like she's kind of going, well, I don't know. He's texting. It's like, we need like another phone for texting with people you don't care about.
Right. I guess that's Snapchat, or used to be.
Well,
I mean, that's the thing about this. I mean, she's married now, so it doesn't matter. But like, this is how you become a better dater. You think you write this email thinking that there's some sort of possibility that doesn't make this guy a complete piece of shit. And we just tell you, next time you see someone who asks you for a picture before the date and then doesn't answer, that is not someone who's worth your time.
I have never needed an extra picture to go on a date.
Well, you've also never been a complete asshole, I assume.
Well, but I'm just saying, if I'm the average guy, if I'm proclaiming to be, I'm just saying, there's nothing that came from a good place of me asking for an extra picture.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So, I mean, trust that sentiment.
Right. It wasn't to show your mom.
Right. Let's do another email.
All right. Are we dating?
So this is our game.
You tell us your scenario, we'll tell you if you're dating or not.
Right. This is how sad the outlook has gotten.
I mean, there's, all right. Hi, J&J. I feel like you'll love this one. We've known each other for 20 years. We went to college together. We've been on vacation together. I have a key to his apartment. When we're together, it's like we're in a full-on relationship. Holding hands, cuddling, fancy dinners, crazy amounts of sex. When we went on vacation, he carries my bags. He pays for most of it. When we're apart, it's like we don't exist in the same world.
Oh, boy.
We see each other maybe twice a month. Communication is quite limited, except for comparing schedules. This isn't the first time we've been in this dynamic. This has been going on for a year, and the last time we did this, it lasted about a year before I ended up in a relationship with someone else because we never advanced. What are we? Pay per girlfriend. I would call this a situationship.
I would call it a situationship as well. I mean, she called herself paper girlfriend. Yeah, you're a rental hug. Like this is they gave the years, so it gives away an age of a certain kind. Like they went to college
together,
and they've known each other 20 years. So they're around my age, I'm closer to their age than you are. And this is kind of like, there's an age bracket where
People are still doing this in their late 30s, you think?
Oh, I think this happens more.
Really?
I think this is a late stage singledom post-divorce thing that happens more than, I think when it happens in your 20s, you have your friends that are like, stop it, dump him.
Right.
I think when it happens in your 20s, like this guy that like treats you like a boyfriend and he's not your boyfriend, it's
right. He texts you all the time.
You're more angry about it.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's like a 30s, 40s, 50s. I know someone
in a situation like this.
very similar.
Okay.
And
you're saying they're not as upset about it? They're into
there's
it?
a complacency to it. I don't really, and I don't mean to sound sad about it because
That sounds so sad.
there's a I'm fine on my own.
Okay.
But I do have these human carnal needs of a hug, of, interactions with an adult, of human. I need physicality. I need love, but I don't want to commit to love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to with this person, or maybe in general forever. I have this like aversion to
Commitment.
sharing my life and
Sure.
making compromise. So I'm going to kind of make this person work for me.
Right.
Like
and
as
they haven't said anything to say that they're unhappy with the situation, so it must be working for them too.
right, it must fit in their life in the way it's fitting in mine. And she said the last time they did this, she got into a relationship. That's how it ended. Now she's out of the relationship. She's back to using the key to his apartment again. So
Yeah.
he's like, I guess she's down for this thing.
I guess, yeah. So I'm saying, I guess it's not sad if she's fine with it. The only
She's
the
not.
sad
She's so
part
fine with it that she's writing us.
right. I'm just wondering if they're dating.
Right, they're not
yeah,
dating.
Yeah, you're not dating.
I don't know what to
but
call
you-
this. Like
I call it a
situation.
situationship.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what he would say about you. I think he would say that, like, this is
Yeah, like if I asked,
right.
how would you describe it? She's a key to your apartment. I mean, he holds. You go on vacation together.
It's more partner. Like if someone was like, my partner, I would think of them as that,
But not your girlfriend.
not your girlfriend. Like this is like, this is like my,
This is like your mistress, but you're not like married.
right.
Kinda.
And it's like, yeah, it just like rings of the couple that wears rings but never got married. Like a spouse died.
But
Like-
there's periods of time where they don't even talk.
Right. Because
It's like
it's
you're
when it's
not in the same-
convenient for
right,
him.
yeah.
She is like to me, she's like a drink. Like a
Right.
martini.
He wants it when he wants it.
Right. I'll have a martini tonight, and I feel bad. I hope
just
that
don't think
doesn't
I
sound
could-
mean,
yeah,
but
but here's the thing: the difference between why I don't think this works as well for women is like I just don't think that there's that many women who could like sleep with someone consistently, act like they're in a relationship, and not want to be in a relationship. And it's possible she's out there.
I've had
somewhere.
Well, I've had family who have been in this situation before. Later in life, it's a companion. I would call them companions.
But they don't.
I would say that this is more companionship. And again, she's writing in, so
Right.
I'm with you. I assume
Okay.
she doesn't want this. She's asking what they
Right.
are. I think she needs to say something.
Right.
Like
But she
if I was
wants
to give
be
advice.
in a real relationship.
Right, because he on the other side of this is like, that's my companion. I think that's what he would say. That sounds bad. But I'm like, this is because
That's my companion who I have sex with.
no, it's my companion. I mean, I guess sex with is part of the deal. Like,
I mean, a companion is another word for friend. So
right. But I would say,
or dog.
I guess this would be friends with benefits is the way I would describe it. Because like she's putting a lot
Why
of
don't
weight.
you think it's a situationship?
Well, she's putting a lot of weight in the holding hands, cuddling, fancy dinners. She says sex, but also carrying my bags.
Right.
You know,
That part
like,
doesn't matter. Yeah.
You think he gives a fuck about that? Like I sorry to sound so flippant. I'm just saying, like, she needs to come to the reality that, like, when he does these things, he is up for doing these things. He doesn't want, or he not acknowledging that he doesn't want a relationship where he's responsible for
Right.
someone.
And if that's what you want, tell him.
So sorry, you are not dating.
Sorry. And yeah.
Well, you have to give up. When she said, here's the part that I know what she's doing.
Okay.
He's trustworthy in a certain way. She says crazy amounts of sex. Like this happens to a lot of people. Well, I trust him. He's a nice person. The dinners are
Known him
fun.
since college.
Known him since college. It's easy. It's comfy, cozy. And
Right.
she's going, and the alternative is a ghost. The
Right.
alternative is
But you'll
dating
never meet.
apps.
But you'll never
and-
meet those. You'll never meet someone who's a better alternative if you're still in this situation.
Right. It's, do you want to be half happy or do you want to be fully miserable or totally happy?
You have to be
know?
fully miserable before you can be totally happy in this kind of situation, or you could just be like mediocrely okay.
Listen, this is like a business.
Yeah.
Like the business is going well. I know the business can't last forever. but it'll always hum along where I'm making this much a year, and I know that.
Yeah.
I got to change the
Or you could
business.
quit. Well, yeah, that's exactly. It's like why people are scared to break up with people.
Right.
This is like the devil I know. This is
Yeah. No, I feel for her because this is a tough situation. Like
you're not dating.
You're not
Get
dating.
out.
I wish we had one of those like like a big stamp.
Yeah, right.
Put it
I love
over
that.
the
Not
screen.
dating.
Yeah.
Do you have any if she said something, do you think there's a chance that he dates her?
Yes, but she's gonna have to be miserable first. I think and I don't want to give
She's gonna have
false
to
hope.
end.
You have to end it.
Okay.
You have to be very specific with what you want in a relationship.
Right.
And you have to say, put those on the fence.
Right. That's the only way it could happen.
You can only enter the property with these things. Boyfriend or fuck off.
Boyfriend or fuck off. Here's a perfect example.
But she's not. I think she's probably had this conversation with him, kind of. Like if I'm to assume.
Yeah, but not explicitly.
She's not being specific enough with what she expects from a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's leaning on, he holds my bags. It's like you don't want that.
My boyfriend texts me every day and we are
we're
dating.
moving we've discussed moving in.
Yeah.
I don't have a key to his home. What is he, an Airbnb?
Right. Yeah, you guys are too old for this.
Let's play some games.
Okay, let's do it.
Red flag or deal, unless she is, but she's writing in, so I
She's
can't
not.
even assume
Yeah.
she's not.
He's not writing in. Are we dating? But I like that.
He can write into our new segment. Do I have the best situation ever?
Well, here's the thing. I think the chance of a relationship is probably 5 to 10%.
Slim and none.
But there's a 0% if she just keeps going. There's a 5
Right.
to 10% chance if she lays down the law and then doesn't put up with it.
You're absolutely right. I totally
Still
agree.
slam either way, but more of a chance if she leaves. Okay.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
Red flag or deal breaker. They use their grandmother's death as a good opportunity to introduce you to their family.
Okay.
Hey, so this actually happened to me. It was neither a red flag nor a deal breaker for me as I'm still with my boyfriend. 7 years, a house, and 2 kids later. But everyone else thinks it's a red flag. Not married. I'm sorry.
Interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Well, she did call him her boyfriend. We had been dating for about 3 months, and his grandmother passed away. Maybe the grandmother got buried with the ring. That's why. We had been dating for about 3 months and his grandmother passed away. He thought this was a good time to introduce me to his family. Is it weird that he basically said, "Hey, my grandma just died. Come meet my family." I was into him, so I didn't think it was weird. What are your thoughts? Red flag or deal breaker? What do you think?
I think this is fine.
I think it's fine.
I'll meet the family however you want to serve them. I'll meet them at a shiva.
By hook or by crook, like whatever that saying is.
Any which way, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm into you, I don't care.
It is a timing
Your grandma's
thing.
dead, fine.
Yeah. I'll bring some flowers. Right. I've probably met significant other
Yeah.
in similar ways where it's like, hey, there's this awkward thing going on.
It's a time when you're going home.
Right.
Do you want to come with me?
Well, there's another way to look at this, which is like, it's basically like beware of deaths, beware of vacations and all the holidays, like I've said before. Yeah. This is a version of a good version, yeah. Right? Like if my grandmother passed, I am now I gotta like if I was 6 months in with a woman. Right. She hadn't met my family yet. My grandmother passed.
Right.
My first thought isn't going to be how sad about my grandmother. My first thought would be like, fuck, how am I going to handle this chick?
You got to invite me.
I got to invite her.
Yeah.
Now we're more serious than we were the day before.
3 months, we're dating seriously. Your grandma dies. I better get the invite.
Right. I'm just thinking of how annoyed I'd be. I'd be like, Nana, you couldn't have died 3 months ago.
I'd be like, what am I going to wear?
This Nana never gave me any birthday gifts. Right. I'm not going to wear. It is crazy that both minds.
Also, my grandma dies. I invite you. Now I get to see if you're coming.
Hey, can't make it. Yeah,
good test. Good test.
I only date people with no grandparents. Hey, nice to meet you. Are your grandparents dead?
Your grandparents are still alive. Fuck off. Okay.
No, they're good.
What do you mean?
Their death, brings you a gift.
What are you saying?
To know where you stand in the relationship.
Yeah.
So if you have a sick grandma, it's probably a good time to start
away?
dating people.
Yeah.
You know?
Good way to test them. I like it. Yeah.
So-
Just hide your grandma's diabetes meds.
Right.
You know, right as you start to get serious. Okay.
Right. You got questions?
All right. They wear multiple fitness devices. I was listening to this week's podcast and heard your ad for Whoop.
Whoop whoop.
And it made me think of this moment with my ex. This was a few years ago. I, female, was in my late 20s, dating a finance bro in his late 30s. I had never heard of Whoop and had asked him what bracelet he was wearing. The Whoop itself was totally fine. However, he also wore an Apple Watch. I asked him why he wore both every day, and he said that Whoop is better for tracking some things, but he likes having the interface of the Apple Watch. I thought this was really weird and was a red flag, but I had to share and can't wait to hear what you think about this. So red flag or deal breaker, they consistently wear a Whoop and an Apple Watch. Maybe he should add an Aura ring into the mix.
It's funny she brings up the Aura ring. I could see this happening.
Mike does this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. he's
Apple
worn
Watch
both.
and Aura ring?
Yeah.
And
Not
Whoop?
an Aura ring. The Apple
Whoever
Watch
sponsors
and the
us?
Whoop. Yeah, basically. He does the Apple Watch and the Whoop.
Is it Whoop or Whoop?
Whoop. Whoop.
Whoop?
Whoop. Whoop. We should know this.
Who reads the ads here?
Whoop.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like obsessed with fitness trackers. I've done them all.
I'm a big Apple Watch user.
Yeah.
I didn't receive my Whoop. Someone go in the
if
office.
you did, I could. You could wear it.
No,
both,
I wearing both. To me, it makes more sense the Aura ring and the Apple Watch. But I can understand his explanation is like reasonable
they track
to me.
different
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
And it fits in the
And
life
why
differently.
is it a red flag? Because it's like weird.
I think the finance bro is like kind of weighing.
Right.
I think it's
compulsively
very
tracking things.
right. Right.
Whatever.
It's
It's
a little-
compulsively tracking the stock market. Maybe that works out for you.
Right. Maybe you'll have your jet.
Right. I think it's fine.
All right,
I guess I clearly think it's fine. My
Right.
husband does it. Okay.
Let's do one more.
All right.
They turn your last name into a nickname after 2 dates. I read this one and I said to myself, this is why the podcast exists. This is like a perfect red flag or deal breaker. Love the pod. I have a red flag deal breaker for you. After a second date, the guy texted me, "Good morning, my last name plus Y." So good morning, Freedy, or good morning, Abrahamy.
That doesn't really ring.
Doesn't
that well.
ring.
Yeah.
I'd call you Abes.
Yeah.
Honest Abe, Abes.
Babes, I like. Okay.
Babe a lot. If I was dating you, there would be a babe element.
Babe.
Babraham Lincoln,
Oh, there we go.
right?
Love it.
My reaction to this nickname felt visceral, and I was so icked out. This wasn't a nickname used or talked about during our date, so it was completely out of the blue. You guys always talk about the importance of context, and there was none. I was already on the fence about him, so I called it a deal breaker. Curious to hear your take. Love, call me by my first name. Fun sign off.
Well, it's like call me by my name.
Right,
Call me by
okay.
your name.
Yeah,
Whatever,
that's okay. More fun than I thought.
Yeah. I think this is a ache if you don't like them, and it's like fun if you do.
Right. If you like them, you're like, ooh, we are
Yeah.
getting personal.
Yeah, like we're like flirt. It's
Yeah.
flirty. I think it's like flirty, and if you're like on the fence, you're like, ugh, fuck off. But like,
Right.
if you're
Freedy.
if you had a great time and someone was like, "How's it going, Babraham?" I'd be like, "Oh my god, he likes me."
It is condescending. It's funny, like over text, it's different.
Yeah.
If you walked in the day, what's up, Freedy? Like,
It would have to be like a little clever, I think.
right. I get sometimes someone will some women do the move where they'll call me Jay.
Mhm.
They go into Jay very quickly.
Okay. I've seen that with men too.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is but I've never been turned on. It's more
I've been
turn
called
on.
Jay
than-
also.
You have?
Yeah.
I mean, we have J and J.
Yeah.
It's been more turn on than turn off. I've never really nickname is never really, and especially if it's creative, I'm always like
Yeah.
fun with it.
That's what
If
I'm
it was
saying.
like, "Hey, fatty," like I'd be like, "Okay, I'm horrified."
That's not really a nickname. That's
Right.
like a mean insult.
Well, if I told them something on the date that made them like,
Oh, yeah.
like I opened up
well,
to
it's
them.
like you were like, I had the worst I don't know, tuna sandwich today. It's like they called you tuna head or something.
Tuna. Well, that's like the whole
Yeah,
The
The
Office.
Office thing, right,
It goes throughout like 80 seasons.
Seasons,
He
yeah.
keeps bringing it up. I'm okay with it more
I think
than
I'm
she
okay
is.
with it if I like you.
Right.
If I'm on the fence and you start going there, I'd be like, all right, I know. Now I know.
Yeah. Now, thank
It'd
you
almost
for
be good.
solidifying
Because I'm like,
this.
if they do this thing, which is like could be cute, but I don't think it's cute, it means I don't like you. If I don't like your nickname, I don't like you.
That's fair. I just think it's so funny. The guy is on the other side. He's like, he's so comfortable with her that he's given her this nickname, and then she's like, I can't make it.
Ugh,
just like gone.
Right. No, but
Like,
I
what
think
happened?
she would have been out anyway. This just makes her out sooner. So go on with the nicknames if that's your thing. You'll find out if the person likes you faster.
There you go. We did it. We solved dating
We did
again.
it. I'm proud of us.
Once again, we expect your. We'll be back next episode with Pookie and Jet. No,
I mean, we'll have, if you guys want to come on and defend yourselves, we'll
come talk about it.
yeah,
I'd be
we'll have
interested
you
to
on.
have them, but they're probably gonna when this comes out.
It's
By
over?
that, I think they're gonna be on the rounds.
We're already gonna have a deal.
They'll have a podcast with Barstool,
Yes.
and then they'll be gone. They'll cease to be relevant.
And then they'll be divorced.
Well, then we're gonna have to hear him talk more than "you look fire."
Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you only hear that, because anything else is probably not good. Anyway, we'll be
Two
back.
people who hate him.
I mean, that's.
I love the take.
I'm not offended by them. I just think
No.
it's like, I'm surprised no one else has said that this is like a complete disaster.
Also, you didn't just bring it up out of the blue. This is a dating podcast. We are watching a couple.
Yeah.
It involves dating in modern
seemingly goals.
seemingly goals.
Yes.
It's probably ruined the life of this one girl whose guy was on the shitter looking at babes in Tampa. But
Run.
we'll
Yeah.
talk to you next week.
See you on Sunday.
Boom.
Bye. The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow @u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.